Hello, I'm Timothy, and welcome to Novel Summary. Today we are reading through 1984, written by George Orwell and published in June 1949. This is the story of Winston Smith, a man trying to hold on to his sanity and his humanity in a world where both are under siege. The novel takes place in the fictional totalitarian state of Oceania, where the party, led by the figurehead Big Brother, rules with an iron grip. The people live under constant surveillance, their thoughts monitored, their language controlled, and their very memories altered by the state. Winston is a 39-year-old man living in London, a part of Airstrip 1, a province of Oceania. He works at the Ministry of Truth, where his job is to rewrite historical records so that they align with the party's current version of events. The party constantly rewrites history to maintain the illusion that it is always right, always just, and always victorious. If the party says 2 + 2 = 5, then that is the truth. From the very beginning, Winston is different. He harbours quiet doubts about the party and its version of reality. He remembers fragments of a time before the party took over, and these memories torment him. One day he begins writing in a secret diary, an unthinkable act of rebellion. In it he writes the words, "Down with Big Brother." He knows that just thinking those words is enough to get him killed. This is the world of 1984, a place where even your thoughts are not safe. Every day the citizens are subjected to the 2 minutes hate, a daily ritual where they express their hatred for Emmanuel Goldstein, the supposed enemy of the party. Goldstein is said to be the leader of a resistance group called the Brotherhood, though it's unclear whether he or the Brotherhood actually exist. The party needs an enemy to justify its repression, and Goldstein fills that role perfectly. During one of these sessions, Winston notices a dark-haired girl named Julia. At first, he's suspicious of her. He even considers the possibility that she's a spy. But then she passes him a note that changes everything. It says, "I love you." They begin a secret affair, meeting in hidden places away from the eyes and ears of the party. Julia is bold and practical. She hates the party not out of some grand ideological vision, but because it tries to control her body, her pleasure, her freedom. Winston, on the other hand, is consumed with understanding the party's lies and exposing its truth. But in each other, they find solace. They eventually rent a room above a second-hand shop owned by an old man named Mr. Charrington. The room has no telescreen, and for a while it seems like a sanctuary. There they talk, make love, and even fantasize about escaping the party altogether. They speak of the past and wonder if rebellion is even possible. Winston believes that hope lies with the proles, the working-class majority who are largely ignored by the party. He thinks that if the proles ever woke up, they could overthrow the regime. But Julia is more cynical. She doesn't believe the party can be overthrown. She just wants to enjoy what little freedom she can steal. Winston becomes obsessed with understanding the party's methods. He is especially interested in O'Brien, a member of the inner party whom Winston suspects might be part of the resistance. O'Brien eventually invites Winston to his home, where he confirms Winston's suspicions. He claims to be part of the Brotherhood. O'Brien gives Winston a book supposedly written by Goldstein, which lays out the ideology of the party and explains how it maintains control. The book is dense, but its central ideas are clear. The party seeks power for its own sake. It uses perpetual war, controlled language, newspeak, and manipulation of facts to maintain its dominance. But the illusion of resistance doesn't last. One day, while Winston and Julia are in their secret room, They hear a voice. It comes from behind a picture on the wall. It's a telescreen. Mr. Charrington was a member of the thought police all along. The room was a trap. Winston and Julia are arrested, beaten, and taken to the Ministry of Love, the place where the party breaks people. In the Ministry of Love, Winston is tortured for weeks. His body is broken, but the real goal is to break his mind. But O'Brien reveals himself not as a rebel, but as a loyal servant of the party. He takes personal responsibility for Winston's re-education. Through endless torture, O'Brien forces Winston to abandon logic, to accept that 2 + 2 = 5 if the party says so. Winston tries to hold on to the idea that he can still love Julia, that his inner self can remain free. But O'Brien has one more weapon, Room 101. Room 101 contains a person's worst fear. For Winston, it's rats. When he is finally brought there, O'Brien straps a cage full of starving rats to his face. In the final moment, just before the rats are released, Winston breaks. He screams, "Do it to Julia, not me." That moment is his final betrayal. Of Julia, of himself, of love, of resistance. The party has won. After his release, Winston is a shell of his former self. He drinks in a bar, does meaningless work, and feels nothing. One day he sees Julia again. They talk. They both admit that they betrayed each other. The love they once shared is gone. The party didn't just break their bodies, it broke their spirits. In the final pages, Winston sits alone, watching a telescreen, and feels a surge of emotion. The party has rewritten history once again, and he accepts it without question. He has no memory of what the truth was. He no longer cares. And then, in the last chilling line of the novel, we understand. He had won the victory over himself. He loved Big Brother. This is not a story of triumph. It's a warning. Orwell wasn't just imagining a dystopia. He was showing us the tools of oppression, the surveillance, the censorship, the rewriting of truth, the erasure of memory, the destruction of love and trust. 1984 is a mirror held up to the darkest possibilities of power unchecked. And in that mirror, we must ask ourselves, how much of it is fiction and how much is already here? Thank you for listening to Novel Summary. I'm Timothy, and I'll see you next time.